all of these corporations, now they have the power of a government and they have no accountability. And this is precisely the situation that has to change. So if you're back in that valley in California in the 1890s and the railroad is the only way you can get your crops out of town, they have the power of the government. And given America's ideology, there is no regulation. A regulation is unknown at this period of time. And so the railroad can simply say to the farmer, we will charge whatever the market will bear. That's it. That's the only rule. You don't like it, then build your own railroad. That's exactly the situation we are in. Google has the power of a government. Google overthrew the government in Ireland. We did a story on that. Google
and Egypt, by the way. I don't know if you know this, but there was a Google employee. I don't know that story.
We did a story on how Google overthrew the government in Ireland. It's in Culture Wars. You can go to culturewars.com and get a back issue of what we're talking about here. This is an organization that has more power than the Irish government. It has more power, as you're saying, than the Egyptian government has more power than government. And there is no accountability here whatsoever. And so Google will now say, I once had a Wikipedia page that was taken down. I couldn't control my own Wikipedia page. So now, in the beginning, Amazon said, E. Michael Jones is a Catholic writer. Well, that's true. Well, now they say E. Michael Jones is an anti-Semitic Catholic writer. Well, I have no defense here. I cannot change that. How do you have the right to basically say something about me that is simply not true? I wrote a book that's 1,200 pages long explaining why that is false, why that cannot be true. And what is your response? Not your response. What is the response of the Anti-Defamation League? They deny me the right to sell the book. So I am completely defenseless here. And I am not alone in this, because what you have is a completely unregulated industry. Nobody even knows what it is. Where it fits in, like between railroads and newspapers and roads, what is it? We're still trying to come up with the identity, to formulate the identity. And in the meantime, these agents can go in there and take it over completely. So basically, when the ADL shows up and goes to whoever it is, the $15 an hour guy who is in charge of doing this, and pushes this guy to the wall and pokes a finger in his chest and says, you're going to do this. What's he going to say? What's he going to say? They're too powerful. And so they can control everything to their benefit, and the majority has no recourse whatsoever. Now, at this point, we need some type of course correction. And in the scheme of things, the only thing that is big enough to take on a corporation of this size or a group as pernicious as the ADL is the government. This is why we have government. We need the government to step in and protect us from these rapacious monopolists who are basically they hold us in complete contempt, in the same way that the railroads held the farmers in contempt in California. Someone's got to step in and say, no, you can't do this. There got to be parameters. We have to have some type of the common good that will allow these people to defend themselves.